Nice morning. What? Hold up. Give me your money. I know that brother outside the morning that asked me for my money. Yo, is that my knife? Did you steal my knife to come rob me? Why does that look like my... Is that my shirt? Give me your money, please. Well, yeah, that's nice, babe. So, welcome back to another video. My name is Dom, and today we're going to be talking about, well, as you can see in the opening, reasons why some people might want to leave the country. No, this has been like a raging debate on Twitter and like in personal circles for like the longest time. I have my own reasons, others have their own reasons, so if you agree or disagree, let me know. Don't be scared. We can have a conversation, or not, we can have a flame war in the comments. Either way, you decide. So, reason number one, you can't do anything without people just like getting in the way, be it robbing you or inconveniencing you in some kind of way. Robbing is a problem everywhere. Let me just set that first. Robbing is a problem everywhere. It's not a Jamaica thing, it's not an American thing, it's a world thing. There are people that are robbing those people. It happens everywhere. But I have been robbed twice. Each time was different. Sometimes it's subtle, sometimes it's not as subtle, it's direct. I end up losing my phone like that. But it feels like you can't do anything. You can't walk on the street normally without like looking over your shoulder every 2 seconds. It's nice to be aware of your surroundings, but at some point being aware turned into being paranoid because of, you know, everything. You can't go anywhere without looking over your shoulder as well. You can't take public transportation without worrying if the driver and everybody else and somebody in the trunk is planning to rob you and stuff, and thinking of an exit plan where you get into a taxi. And that's good to have, but it's also based on everything that's happening, you know? And I don't think that's like a healthy way to live, because you're not comfortable. People are not even safe in their homes. I've heard stories of around where I live. Gunman, I jump fence, I go in a people yard and I rob them while I wash them car. You know, at gunpoint, I take with them car, I take with them wallet, take with everything in the house. Like broad daylight. I'm not talk like some middle of the night, like secret shit, like in broad daylight. The criminals are vicious. They give no fucks and they fear no one. There are consequences, of course, for their actions, but more oftentimes than not, they get away with it. So the risk that used to come with like robbery is like very low, dangerously low. So it feels like they can just do as they feel like without any repercussions. I feel like that's one of the major things that's, you know, plaguing the country and making people not feel like comfortable. We're not expecting like a better roses. We're not expecting to like go outside and like,
oh hey, how are you doing? How's your day? Here's a bouquet of flowers. Have a nice day.
we not expect that. It's like we can't take a breath without somebody that asks you for money. And on that note, money is a huge debate. Money is, oh, I can talk for hours about this one. The Jamaican dollar is ass, trash, garbage, donkey. At current time of recording, this is what it looks like compared to the United States dollar. I'm assuming that's bad. I can't see it right now, but I'm assuming it's bad. The money here is basically nothing based on the price of goods. Gas prices raise like every other week or every week from what I've been seeing in the past like couple of months. The price of food has been going up, continues to go up, doesn't look like it's gonna stop going up, and wages here. So everything is going up and wages here. Sometimes it goes here, but then everything else goes up. The money is crap. The wealth gap is huge. The top 1% of the country has all the money, while we down here are just like scrounging. You know, jobs, like money you get from jobs is a completely different story. I don't know about anybody else, but I know about my past jobs, and the money that you would get was barely enough to like pay bills and get back to work. You get the money, you pay your bills, You buy food so you can live, and you pay your fare daily to get to work. And then all that money's done until you get your pay again, so you can do it all over again. So there's no opportunity to like do what you want to do. And yes, you can save, you can invest, there's many different ways around it, but that doesn't dispute the fact that the money is garbage, the pay is garbage. And when you get your money, there's like 1,000,001 things to take away from that money, and there's barely anything to add to that. And that's coming from a guy that's single and childless. Imagine people with families that are married. Sometimes I would see my past co-workers with like 1, 2, 3 kids, and I don't know how they survived on the money that they were getting. Obviously they were smart about it, but like the money that they got was just barely enough to cover them and their families. So if they wanted to like buy something or do something, they'd have to save for like months just to do that one thing, instead of like being able to do that just like normally. And I don't think that's a good thing. Maybe I'm wrong. I really don't know, but I don't think that's like a good thing for like the populace to be unable to like spend in the country. And that's another thing too. Jamaica is not geared towards Jamaicans that live here. It's geared towards tourists. If me as a Jamaican man, born and grew here, so want go Duns River, for example, or any of those other tourist attractions, they're going to charge me an arm and a leg to get in. And the hospitality, don't, bro. If you go to a tourist destination and you're feeling like a patois and you sound like you're from here, just compare that to somebody that's a visitor, somebody who's a genuine tourist coming from outside the country. The hospitality, completely different. No, I'm not expecting anybody to come shake my hand and kiss my ass, but you're making it way too obvious who you're gearing it towards. I'm there to have a good time. I'm there to spend money. That's what all these other people are there for as well, regardless of if they're tourists or not. So why am I being treated differently? Why can I not have a similar experience to what they're going through? I'm not expecting the same thing because they're tourists. You're trying to get them to come back. You're trying to get them to enjoy their stay. But I'm taking time out of my schedule or whatever to pour money back into the country and have a good time while doing it. Yet I'm being treated as if I beg for come spend money and have a good time. You see how that doesn't connect? That doesn't connect there? Okay. And next reason is the utility companies that we are serviced by in the country. I don't really want to call their names right now. The National Drip Drop Company and the Lights On, Fuck It Lights Off Company. Yeah, you have those two companies, a water company and an electricity utilities company. Those two companies power our water and our lights. We don't pay for heating because at Jamaica. Those two companies are notorious for being some of the highest companies on like the most hated companies of the country. If you look at like top 5 hated companies of the country, those two are somewhere near the top. National Drip Drop Company, they always dig up the road to fix some pipe or something, which is fine. Repairs, I get it. Repairs are going to be needed, you know? But Jesus Christ, can they just take away the service and not tell anyone? They're like public announcements on the radio and on social media. First of all, I don't know anybody that actually follows the utility companies. I don't. But they're like public announcements on the radio sometimes of when the service is going to be taken away to facilitate repairs or whatever. But that's few and far between in terms of the announcements. The other day, we lost water for the entire day, and if I had not gone on Twitter, I would not have known that they put out an announcement. It did not come on the radio because I was listening to the radio for the entire day. I had to go on Twitter to see that I was in the affected area because of the repairs. You can't do that because people have shit to do. literally and figuratively. People rely on water, people rely on electricity, so you can't just be cutting it off and not be telling anybody, or you're only telling a small group of the populace. That doesn't make any sense. We have water stored up in a container, in a barrel, just in the event of anything. But imagine people that don't do that. That's not like good, and people are paid this one bag of money a month time for this subpar service. Don't even get me started on lights on, get lights off company. They are so inconsistent. Like, me not understand. Yo, you hear say like that go away?
Yeah, dog.
When was that?
This morning, man. Now recorded. This is a public service announcement. No light for your boy. Dead.
Bro, if you don't have a surge protector for your items will die. Trust me, that's how inconsistent the service is sometimes. I get it. Power outages are a thing. Surges are a thing. Sometimes they need to cut power at some place because it's building up too much and they need to feed out the power so it doesn't overload the system. Something like that. I'm not an expert, but say something. There has to be like a better way of informing people of that, because some people don't have surge protectors and you'll damage their goods. That's one of the things that makes the population frustrated. Circling back to like the whole working system, another thing too is like, for most people, I would say, getting a job after college can be extremely difficult. It doesn't matter if you have a degree or whatever, it is extremely difficult for some people. You have these jobs out here that already pay like crap, we've established that, and they require like 5 years experience out the gate, when most people are just like leaving school. Where the f am I supposed to get 5 years experience? I just left school. To get the job that you're like qualified for, you have to have been doing it years before, and there's hardly any jobs out there that accept like newly graduated students with minimal experience. That's something that they really need to fix, because why would I want to go through the trouble of getting my degree, spending 2 to 8 years, or 2 to 6 years, or whatever it is, to get my degree, and then I have to end up working at a call center so that I can get some experience to do what I'm actually qualified for. Dog, I can't believe I really graduated, dog.
Bro, there, man.
Jano.
Boy, next. Yeah, there, you know.
I probably just,
I know. Call center.
yeah. And I'm not knocking call centers. Call centers are fine. They work for a lot of people, so I can understand that. But why would I spend so long specializing in something only to not be able to do that until a couple of years after I leave? That doesn't make any sense. Here's a thought. How about you have the qualified people come into the organization, learn the position, learn the work through training, and then over time they will be
That's all, folks.
they will be acclimatized to the whole working environment and understand how the job works and be able to, build your company, grow your company, because they're qualified and they understand what's going on. I don't understand, like, if you go on most Jamaican job searching websites, you see 2 years experience, 3 years experience, 4 years experience, 5 years experience. What am I forget that from? Should I be working before I even get my degree so that I can get a job after I get the degree? It's ridiculous. That doesn't make any sense, and that's why the brain drain in this country is so high. Because I'm sure that if you go abroad, you can get a job like right after leaving college, or some relatively sooner than out here. So people just get their degrees out here and then leave. That's something that they really need to fix. Another thing that really doesn't make sense for the denizens of the country is the whole system. We live in a third world country that should be a first world country by now. And I think I saw a quote on Twitter. I think I'll put up the tweet somewhere here. I think I saw it yesterday. It says like, you don't really remember that you live in a third world country until you're trying to do errands. The system is so archaic. You have to really wonder, what's the whole point? what's the point of doing anything? The websites, Jamaican websites are some of the worst things I've seen. I don't know if there's like a huge brain drain in terms of people that can actually do good web design, but we need to fix that. I'm not saying all of them are like that, just most of them that I've seen. It's just like green text on black background. It's the weirdest shit I've ever seen, and navigation is awful. Sometimes half the site isn't even done, and it's been like 2 years since the website was created. If you go on like Google Maps to look at a location, the pictures are like 2 years outdated, so you don't even know what the place looks like, if it's even in service anymore, anything. You have no information. The registration systems, most of them, garbage. The best one I've seen is the NIS system. Like, you go there, you barely spend like 10 minutes, you get your shit, you're out the door. Great. TRN, however, TRN is a different hell. I don't know if it's changed because I've had my TRN for years, and I got that years ago. But when I went, one long line, got the top of the line. When I got to the top of the line, we need a JP for stamp pictures. JP is a justice of the peace. I don't know exactly what they do, but I just know that they can be used to like sign official documents or vouch for you on your behalf. And I, for the life of me, can never understand how this JP thing is still a thing. You're asking me to go to a JP in my community to have them vote for me, when half the time the JP doesn't even f***ing know me. On the recommendation it will be like,
Dominic is an excellent member of the community. I've seen him grow for years and seen him become a fine young man and a great member of society. I recommend him for this loan or
whatever it might be. I've never met this man in my entire life. This is the first time I'm seeing him. I just told him my name like 2 minutes ago. And everybody knows that's the case for most JPs, yet they still have the JP system in place. So I'm not saying that JPs can't know the people in the community. I'm sure there are genuine recommendations. But for most of them, they don't know you. They don't know anything about you. Yet the system requires you, some of the time, to get approval from them, stating that they know you for however long. What the f***? That doesn't make any sense. Make it make sense. Am I the only one that doesn't see how that makes sense? Really?
Hey boy, shut your mouth.
Wow, okay. Cool. Man, the system is just... It's just like completely stupid. It doesn't incentivize people to go through the necessary channels to do anything. Just like getting a license, a driver's license, legitimately. Sometimes your instructor will fail you so that you have to do it over again, and you have to pay all that money again to do it. I've heard instances of that happening. I don't want that happening to me, but we'll see, I guess. That's why some people opt to not go through the driving schools or anything. They have a friend that can actually drive, teach them, or somebody that they know teach them, and then they do the test instead of like going through the normal channels and just having them fail you on purpose. I'm not saying you can't fail legitimately, but there are some instances of people being able to pass the test and getting failed because they want you to do it over and pay the money again. No, I've been ragging on everything for the past however long this video is, but there are good bits to Jamaica. Of course, there are pros and cons to everything, but I feel like sometimes the pros don't outweigh the cons here, and that's what brings people to want to leave. If you're living in a country, you want to be comfortable, you want to feel safe, you want to be able to live, is what I'm trying to say. You want to be able to live and live comfortably and live safely. Out here, you can't even like sleep in your bed at night without having that thought in your mind that somebody might break into your house and kill you in your sleep. You can't live in peace here sometimes, and I want to see the country do better. I would love to actually like live here and work here, but the fact of the matter is, every day it feels like the country is just on a slippery slope. It's only like going down, and it shouldn't be that way. You know, I'm not saying that young people or my generation is the key to solving this, but you know, let us get our ideas out there. Let's share ideas. Let's see what can be done differently. Let's see what we can change up to make a better Jamaica for everybody. Maybe I should run for no, no, no. That's not happening. Yeah, that's just some of my thoughts. I don't know if I'm echoing some of your thoughts. Yeah, I just want the place to be better, man. It can be better, but it's a long journey ahead. With that being said, thanks for watching. Until next time, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.